It's the weekend. It's Mailbag. It's almost a rerun of last week's show, but Matt's been subbed in for Sam. Matt, before we start on the questions, any thoughts on salad cream?
Fuck's sake.
Salad cream sound.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm in the minority again.
We're winning.
Yeah.
None of these were expecting that way, is it?
Well, I didn't know, but I have been surprised by how much of a minority I'm in on this salad cream thing.
Bit of salad cream on a ham salad butty's fantastic.
Oh yes.
I may try it again, then maybe you should revisit it.
Yeah, I think you need to give it a go.
I think I do. Another quick one from me. When was the last time you put someone in a headlock, Laura?
Right. About 2 or 3 weeks ago, it was at Goodison Park.
Okay.
No.
Is it just friendly one or?
Yeah, it was just a little cuddle. No,
Yeah.
probably when I was about 10 years old, and it was probably my brother.
Yeah, fair enough. I can't remember.
I don't understand if someone's actually genuinely gone to do that, why that would be your move of choice if you're an adult, because I just don't, I can't comprehend any of it, to be honest.
And a small 50-odd, I've been on over this last week, but a small 50-odd-year-old woman is the last person you'd get in a headlock, to be honest. Anyway, Matt, headlocked anyone recently?
No, probably Keith at some point when I've been drunk.
Yeah. Knuckles on the head kind of headlock.
He's deserves it, like, probably.
Yeah. Dave?
I think the second goal against Crystal Palace, I probably did grab him in the headlock.
Ah, right, yeah.
or something that to a unnamed club official might resemble one, but probably wasn't one.
Dave?
I was thinking about, like, you used to piss about in school, like at lunchtime, or whether in like the playgrounds or that in senior school, and you'd always end up having a little bit of a scrap or something like that with one of the kids. Not a serious scrap, but when you're pissing about as if you're messing about as if you've just watched the wrestling or something like that. So I'd go back to, I don't know, when I was 13 or 14, something like that. When I found out what the incident was at Everton, I've got 3 dashings. I was going to start doing it with them to see what happened. And they just looked at me like, "What are you doing, you dickhead? Why is this happening?" And walked away from me. So I presume that's what actually happened at Goodison as well. Nice. Like, "What are you doing, you idiot? Just get off, will you?" I think it was said to her rather than the person who did it. But I mean, in relation to why we've spoken about it at length, as you can imagine, all the Blue Room podcast this week. But it's got to be the most bizarre thing that's happened at that club, and there's some real contenders over the years, isn't there? But that happening is just so bizarre that it's hard. It's going to be hard to tell people. Do you know, when we get a lot older, kids, whatever, people who just started liking football, referring to this particular moment, it's going to be really, really difficult, isn't it?
Yeah. It's worthy of a timeline. I think Matt's frozen there, wasn't he?
Yeah, I was going to say, there's no way he's still sipping that wine like that, is he?
Some swig of wine if he's not.
He might be, but
those olives have made him stop.
I'll message him now, see what's going on there. We'll move on to the next question. So we want to get this one out of the way from former friend of the show, Stephen Sheehan. Shag, marry, kill, Bill, Farhad, DBB. Laura, we'll come to you because this is your kind of question.
With the right people involved.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I didn't realise that was the.
There's got to be, a certain. Yeah, I think I'd rather just kill myself, to be honest, than just have that.
Fucking.
There's just no way. Is the 2 Matt Flusks now coming on?
There is. We're blessed.
That would be amazing. Imagine 2 Matt Flusks.
Oh, people,
would not be ready for that.
The lift I would get off 2 Matt Flusks would be unreal.
Oh, you'd be dead tall then.
That would be great.
Who was it? Farhad, Denise.
Yeah.
And
I don't think anyone needs to commit to this.
No, I personally just feel like the answer, no comment, is.
Yeah. See, this is a dilemma of Stephen's own making, and we can't help him out with this.
Yeah, why did he have to come up with that? Are you okay, Stephen? I don't think so.
It's cry for help, innit?
Shag, marry. Was it shag, marry, kill, or shag, marry, avoid?
Kill.
Oh my God.
Kill, fucking hell.
Any thoughts on that, Dave or Matt?
Well, I mean, people need to take this for the context we're discussing it about, yeah. And thankfully, it's on the subscription rather than putting it out there to a few 100,000 people on one of the weeklies or something like that. I don't know, just for the sake of the name, Kill Bill, the film. So I'll refer to that.
Yes.
Shag. It's
I'm not.
I'm not gonna go. I'm not gonna go for the natural.
I think we should just say we'll headlock all of them and move on. Yeah.
I just feel like
That's
this
why.
is a tricky thing to.
But I
Let's
asked
do
him
that.
as soon as he put it on Twitter, I said to him, "You must hate the Blue Room."
Well, exactly. That's what I said. Former friend of the show. Clearly hates us.
If it was to save the club, I'd Shag Farad.
Some... Okay.
If he'd pay me enough money, yeah.
Well, we'll move on to Foxy's question. Another big friend.
Imagine having Jim White with him in a threesome.
Foxy's asked then, on a theme of if a tree falls in the woods, but there's no one there to hear it, does it make a sound? If a CEO gets headlocked in the boardroom, but there's no one or CCTV there to see it, did it really happen? Matt, I'll come to you first on this.
I mean, they could have, but I mean, serious points here. The word headlock has been completely misused here, hasn't it? It's just some big mouth has just used a stupid word at a stupid time, and yeah. As soon as everyone saw it reported, not one person thought for a second it was a full-on headlock. I mean, come on, come on.
Yeah.
But yeah, just because there's no CCTV, it doesn't mean something didn't happen. But it was probably just completely nothing. We've seen like a second, third hand account from someone who says someone went over and basically collared her, put his arm around her, and went, buy some players, stuff like that. Completely inappropriate, shouldn't have happened, and that's why. But then an almost nothing thing, which is why I didn't go any further. And then again, some big mouth in the media room, and no one seems to know who it is. We all have our guesses based on who would or might be there on that particular day. Yeah, but just because there's no video, we shouldn't dismiss that anything at all happened. But the question is not if it happened. The question is, should we care?
Yeah, it's fair enough. Does anyone want to talk any more on this? Because we have really done a lot of it this
I
week.
am honestly bored of the whole thing. Like, just bored of the whole idea of it all, to be honest. I'm bored of the whole idea of Everton, to be honest, as a concept.
Fair enough. I think we all are.
No, I think what Matt says there is probably the most sensible response that I've heard to it, because obviously the intent of people talking about it is obviously to make their jokes about it and whatnot. If something seriously happened, then it is a serious issue. If a woman at Everton was assaulted by a man, that is a really serious issue.
Yeah.
I actually think that to move away from what has allegedly happened, the way the club, and I think Matt hinted on this as well, has conducted itself in terms of the media issue, the way in which it was released to certain media individuals and journalist professionals was really, really scummy and shitty in my mind, in my thoughts. Didn't think it was particularly necessary for whoever has decided at the club to think, do you know what, we can really move ourselves away from all the shit that's going on at the club by putting it out and blaming fans. That's what feels really shit about it to me. And like you say, like you said, Laura, I'm pretty sick of it, to be honest with you. Having to do what most of us have to do in terms of refer to it at certain points this week, it just feels really crap. And I think the connotation that's come from it, like I mentioned there, the football club and the board have dug a hole for themselves, probably almost literally, to hide from people. How on earth do they come back now? How do they get back into the director's box at Goodison? I don't.
It's only going to get worse, isn't it? So
yeah,
well, that's what I mean. They've
all the
created
bridges.
this.
Oh, completely ruined it. Fuck themselves.
We've got one more question about, and it's still about a board member. Tommy M has asked Graeme Sharp. He spelt it Graham. He spelled Graham like we spelled Sharp wrong. He's put an E on the end.
That's probably how he spells his own name now to get away
So
from
it's
it.
like it's more like the Yorkshire Sharp who says bastard a lot. But he said, Graeme Sharp anyway, biggest hero to zero for Everton ever. Big claim, because there's been a lot of players who've done that. But he's kind of stamping on his legacy a bit with all this, isn't he? Just by association.
It's literally just by association, though, isn't it? Because no one really knows what he actually necessarily does. Which
He's meat in the room.
What?
He's meat in the room. Like I felt like screaming this out when I went to the fan board thing the other week, and people kept asking like, "Why Sharp on the board? What does he do? What does he do?" And I felt like just standing up and shouting at them. The reason Graeme Sharp is on the board of directors, and the reason I predicted he would be put on the board of directors 4 months before it happened, is we need 3 directors to hold a meeting, and we only ever had 2. Because
just a body.
Delise is in Liverpool, Bill's in London, and Grant Ingalls is off doing his commercial deals or whatever. So the chance of all 3 of them, 3 out of 3 directors being available for a meeting, it's not guaranteed. So they needed a 4th one just to have meat in the room. That's why he's non-executive. He doesn't have any actual
power.
Business power. He doesn't have any executive decision-making capability. He's literally just there to stick his hand up and say, "I am present. We can conduct business as a limited company under the UK company law." That's all he's there for.
That's
wish I was able to do that. That would be great, wouldn't it?
I've just got this image now. Walking around Goodison doing a stadium tour, and he just gets sort of buzzed. Hey, Shelby, what you doing? We need another body in the boardroom. Each one's coming up, and that's how it happened.
No, so I mean, it was ceremonial as it comes as well. Like Matt's quite rightly said there about what it actually means. There's very, very little other than to be present for what happens and what decisions are made. He puts his hand up for whatever someone wants them to do effectively. I think as well, if you think back to Sharp, and look, I've worked for the best part of 15 years on the radio. He was also part of the ambassadorial type of thing with the likes of Graham Stewart and Ian Snowden. Again, I worked with them for many years. I think what the club tried to grow initially, and this is before the days of Martinez, when Moyes was there, was to try and build a connection directly with, in inverted commas, the People's Club, and have people that many fans, well, they would consider, fans would refer to them as untouchable. Given Sharpie's era of playing and winning us stuff and being a bona fide legend, they've naively thought that there's nothing he could do that would make the board, the club on that side of it, be in a bad situation, which is ironically right now the worst time you could possibly be an ambassador for Everton Football Club.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah,
I'd rather be an ambassador for Russia right now.
There was a comment on the weekly actually from Al1878 who says, "I believe Graeme Sharp." He spelled it with an E as well. Attended the fans' event on Friday. No issues. Plenty of photos with Evertonians. And a day later, he's afraid to attend the game. I don't really think you could put that on Graeme Sharp, can you, to be honest? He's just he's doing his thing, and he's been told by everyone else, by the way, we're not going the game today.
Yeah. Why would he want to go on his own and face the mob? So
yeah, it's just a big horrible mess, isn't it?
It's just shit.
Just going back to that situation, and obviously I don't want to with DBB and what happened under the board. Do you not think as well how when people have said that this was all built by the media presence in the club, and those sort of thinking that this would take all the shade away from them and everyone could just move on and blame Lampard. I think obviously Lampard, I think in many ways, until this game was happening tomorrow, is sort of being able to move away a little bit from this, given all the crap that's gone towards the ball. But I did laugh when on the TV when it panned out across the director's box, and it was so blatantly obvious the way in which they put the empty seats. So it isn't front and center, obviously, because obviously many of them sit there, but they don't all sit together.
Yeah,
normal games, they don't all sit together. They're in various positions. You'd have Bill sitting next to Denise, but the rest of them aren't all around them. And I was just like, they've just tried to go as far as they possibly can to make everyone witness. They're not there for the narrative that they tried to create. The they were going to get assaulted if they were there. So they'd all be in those lovely seats, but they're not. And they just tried to make it as obvious as possible to whoever looked over towards there. Like on Match of the Day, they did the same thing.
That's a
Zooming
very
in on
good
those
spot, that.
seats.
It's a
It
good
was,
spot.
it was what, sorry?
It's a very good spot.
Yeah.
Didn't
Well,
occur to me
that's
that. I mean, I knew that obviously filmed in East, but yeah, you're right. Like, there's no way the Grand Singles will be, the four seats
Exactly.
in on the front row
No,
of the director's
they're
box.
never. They're all sort of scattered around.
It was like everyone to look at it and say, oh, look what's happened there. How
How
sad's
sad.
that?
Oh,
Yeah.
bless
Yeah.
him.
They should have put like a rose on each seat.
A blue
An old
rose.
main stand cushion on each seat.
Good times.
Tell you what, I've sat in Bill's seat and it is actually very comfy.
Is it? Are they padded, those seats? Do you look at?
Yeah,
Yeah,
they are.
I sit on my little wooden seat in the main stand, and they've got their big, comfy, cushioned, so quite thick as well.
And he's got a little plaque as well. It says chairman.
Okay.
And it's
Wow.
right on the halfway line.
Philanthropist.
He gets everyone to call him Mr. Chairman, doesn't he?
Mr. Chairman, oh my God, I can't with that.
Yeah.
So did Mao Zedong.
Exactly. That's what we're dealing with. Right, we'll move on to some move away from the board and away from Everton ish. Jake's asked, you duetting on karaoke with an Everton player, past or present? Can be Denby Disco or elsewhere. It's up to you. Who are you picking and what song are you singing together? Denby Disco, Matt.
Oh no, straight to me.
I'll go to someone else if anyone's.
I've got an answer.
I'll go to
Go.
Denby Disco, Laura.
Because obviously I've thought about this all day. It's going to be a current player, and we're going to Denby Disco with James Tarkowski, and we're going to sing "Endless Love." Obviously,
Is
And it's gonna be
James anywhere to be seen here?
he's crying in the crowd.
Fair enough. I can see why.
Yeah, he can't quite get over it.
Note
But
the way I didn't think about Kyle in this situation here. It was straight to Coleman.
he's definitely listening in the room. He's probably gonna. He's gonna. Yeah, I can hear it. I don't know what you're saying, but get over it. But yeah,
That's a shout. Dave.
no one else has obviously thought about this in any.
Sorry, I'm still here. I would do Toto Africa with my favourite man in leather once again, Jordan Pickford.
Why is he singing Africa? And also, it's not the best Toto song either. But okay.
It is the best Toto. Of course, it's the best Toto. What were you talking about? What song are you saying is the best Toto song?
I'm not saying Africa. Africa's just overplayed. I love it. Don't get me wrong, but it is overplayed.
The best Toto song is Hold the Line.
That's a shout.
Hold the Line's really
Yeah.
good, to be fair. But yeah, Toto's always been my favourite. But it's like the actual video, when they filmed it with the running around the library.
Yeah,
I just love the thought of doing that.
doing that with Pickford in leather.
Yeah, just running around the library trying to find each other.
You know.
On that bombshell, Matt, who are you going with?
I was thinking about actual duets, but Dave saying that's just put it into my head. Jordan Pickford on me shoulders doing Believe like he did after the Euros.
Oh, that would be cool.
Oh,
Remember when he was wearing that mad, was it a tracksuit or a suit?
The mad like
Is it?
two-piece thing, wasn't
A
it?
Gucci two-piece, wasn't it? It became a one-piece quite quickly.
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
shout.
With one or
I would love to see that in
Toxic
the
by
Denby.
Britney Spears
With-
with Graeme Sharp.
Yeah. Oh, I'd love to see that in the Denby.
Might call this podcast Toxic.
Quite apt.
Have the whole squad. Have the whole squad on an aeroplane singing that.
Or we could get the whole squad.
It
from
works, doesn't it?
85 and do Here We Go, like they did on Terry Wogan.
Half cut.
Those trackers were immense, by the way. That they were wearing on
Hey,
that.
Les, that's more of your era, isn't it? Or like when you started watching us, and like the glory days of Everton.
Yeah.
What I always thought about that happening with Terry Wogan was, why did he have them little shit scarves? Is that what the way scarves were back in the day?
Oh,
That they
in
didn't do
the
anything?
audience.
Making Les sound dead old. That's nasty, that.
Do you know, I think scarves have always been a pretty regulation size that they are now. Obviously, you can
No,
get
they
bigger
haven't.
ones,
Oh,
but
come
they're
on,
all,
mate.
all pretty
Right.
much in the same size. That was the BBC scrimping, I think.
Don't be slating the BBC. That's the official
I'm,
word
not,
from me.
I'm going on there tomorrow morning, aren't
I know you're on there tomorrow morning. I forgot I'd sorted that out.
Forgive me, Auntie.
You know, honestly, when you've seen those scarves, because you've probably got quite a bit of 80s memorabilia, haven't you, Les?
I haven't got that much, you know.
Have you not?
No.
Look, those scarves are like, I don't know, they're just like a piece of string that they're thin.
I think they are thinner because, like, my mum has a couple of Everton ones from the 80s and that, and
they're always white as well, aren't they? You always feel like they're white.
They're white and blue, you know, the Everton colours, famously. Yeah.
Can I just leap to Les's defence here? Like, he's not that old.
I know that's what
No,
my
dad
was much younger than me at Rotterdam, and he turned 60 last month. Les
I was 7 at my first game in 1984.
Yeah, Les, officially, how old are you right now, mate? Come on.
Les, he's about 21, isn't he?
Well, this is what I was going to say. This is not an insult to Les, because, I mean, he won't mind me saying it. He won't mind me saying it because I used to watch him a lot when he was asleep, and we got in a bus down to Bournemouth once. But look at that face and his beard and all that. He's a good-looking man. How old are you, Les?
45.
See, 40, he's 10 years older than me, and I look about 70.
My answer to this question, anyway, is somewhere in my heart has the camera with Pat Nevin.
Pat to play it, mate. Pat to play that for you. And there's a little disco.
That'd be so much fun.
That would be fun. I'd love to see that. We make this happen.
We should make this happen.
Get into the Denby right now.
Works with the BBC, doesn't he? There we go. We should make this happen.
Do you know what? It might happen one Friday, on a Friday afternoon at 2 p.m. when they have the players' lunches in the Denby. He might be one this year. I don't know anything. I'm just speculating.
I've got his number here if you want to ring him.
Let's do this. Dave,
what, right now, live right now.
He owes me a copy of his book as well.
I've not read that. I imagine it would be a good one, though.
Would you actually like to read it? Because I will get you one if you want it.
Yeah.
No, he's got to buy his own. He's got to get Pat the money.
Pat said that to me as well. I said, listen, Pat, we've worked together quite a bit here. Can I have a copy of your book? And he was like, yeah, you'll have to go to W.H. Smith.
So while we're on karaoke, it seems a fitting time to go to Maggie's round.
Oh,
so, who in the Everton squad gives the crispest high five? I like crisp as an adjective for a good high five.
Yeah.
Who's given the crispest high five, Laura?
Jordan Pickford. That's gonna
with a leather glove.
With a leather glove, and it's gonna sting. You know, one of them that like you can feel it for like 20 minutes after, and it just stings your hand. Going with Jordan Pickford.
That is a good shout. Dave?
Onana, I think, will give a really good slap because, and the reason why I say that is because obviously he's a big fella anyway. But you know when he's celebrated and he seems to really want to get close to the fans, and he looks like he's going to do a lot of like social media on Instagram and stuff like that. And like I said, he's a big fella anyway. I reckon he could slap a proper mean high five him.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's the connection of being good on social media and high fives?
No, I just mean on social media, he's like quite openly social, so he would do a lot of high fives. Right. You're not having that?
No.
I reckon as well. I was going to throw Mina in there as well, simply that he shook the hand of that little lid who come on outside his car the other day.
Aren't we talking about high fives, not slaps? Like,
so it was a high five because he shook his hand in the end. Even though I would have forgiven him for slapping him, to be fair.
Mean as a shout. Matt?
Asmir Begovic, because his wife's American.
Oh,
so I imagine he gets a lot of high fives down.
They just walk around the house high-fiving each other all the time.
Definitely.
Absolutely. Especially when the horse does something, boss.
I was going to say that the horse is definitely involved in that.
That horse. Make a cringy name for Dan Juma if he's signed before recording. Obviously, the worse the better.
This should have been a question given to us before the show.
Daniel Junggredients.
You know, you can read the questions on Twitter before you come on.
Dan Jumbo.
Dan Jumbo.
I don't know what you're thinking of
You
there.
can't, for people listening, you can't see the face map pulled there, but it was a belter. and Jumbo. Oh God, what's number 69 on the 120-point plan? Way.
Dan Jumbo.
I don't think I can answer this question.
I think we got the answer there, to be honest.
What is
Yeah,
the question? What's the question again, Les?
What was number 69 on the 120-point plan? I think you were right.
I can't answer this
Yeah,
question.
Dan Jumbo.
Is this linked to the Shag, marry, avoid to Farhad?
Maybe it was, yeah. That's how he's going to get rid of the board members.
Dave is just making this wholesome family show so filthy.
This is not a family show.
I am behaving because the words that I was going to answer to that question were not okay, so just move on.
Okay,
I hate the way
I
hate the way you just keep acting innocent to this, you know.
Me or Les?
No, you. Les is innocent anyway. I'm on about you.
Les is not innocent.
Oh, I
No,
am.
Les is not innocent with that pretty looking face.
I used to be able to embarrass him. He is immune to it now. It's fantastic.
All right, kids. All right, no arguments. Les, can you just answer me? Where does this 120-point plan thing come from? Because I saw it the other day as well.
Kevin Thelwell has created a 120-point plan for Everton.
Did he put like a blog up or something?
A blog.
I don't know. I don't
Like
know.
I heard he's created a 120-point plan. Personally, I think the fucking blobfish should have a 40-point plan, and that's it. That's all we
I
need.
think 40's too many.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But to answer your question, the 69th point of the 100 and whatever it is point plan is West Ham fuckers at both ends.
I like that. I like
Fair
that.
enough.
I like that.
And how would you detoxify Everton?
Liquidate,
Ooh, I have thoughts on this.
Go on, Matt.
liquidate, burn it all to the ground. Done.
I would detoxify Everton by encouraging gently, with a great big wooden stick, our fans to get some perspective and stop thinking that we are some team that has been fighting for league titles constantly for the past 100 years. Since 1970, we had 2.5 really good years.
Yeah.
In 53 years, we had 2.5 years where we were fucking boss. We had a cup in 1995 in 53 years. I think people need to stop pretending and expecting us to be in the upper echelons of English football, because that's never been us. That is not.
I was thinking the same thing the other day, right, about the mid-80s. And basically, yeah, we were at our peak. We were the best team in Europe, and we still blew the double to them. Yeah. It's like, it's even at our peak, we still managed to ball us up spectacularly.
Mm.
Yeah. But that's my view on it anyway. As someone who never saw the 80s and that, I think people have got to look at the actual historical record with a bit of perspective and stop. Obviously, you can have ambitions to be up there, as any club should. But the expectation that we deserve it, that we are one of these handful of clubs that deserve to be at that very, very top spot because of our history, it's just completely fictional for me. It really is. And it poisons the mind. It poisons the mind completely.
It's the same with this concept of the fans deserve X, Y, and Z. And it's like, why do they?
Yeah, I also think as well, you kind of see in a bit of a sort of move away from that now when you've got clubs like Brentford and Brighton who are doing well, and they seem to have plans, and they've built new grounds, and they're sort of coming up, and it could all turn to shitboarding within a couple of years and they get relegated, because we've seen off loads of teams like that, haven't we? I mean, you look, Leicester's the prime example, isn't it? They've done really well the past few years. And everyone was like, I know you say this quite a bit, Matt, it's like everyone was looking at Leicester like, that's what we should be like. And now they're in the shit and they're not looking great. So it's like, it could go to shit for Brighton.
Just going to say explicitly, they're in the shit financially, not just having a bad season or whatever. Like, they are on the books looking like we are now.
Yeah.
But you could see it, a sort of shift of more forward-looking clubs that haven't got this sort of legacy behind them
But this is
might start coming to the fore now.
football isn't like a Disney film. There's no like happy ending. So you look at like Leicester, who have gone on, did what they did in 2016, win the league, and then they think, right, that's it, we're the best thing ever. Now that's where they are.
And they got a cup as well, to be fair.
Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, they did, but it doesn't just end like it's not a Disney film happy ending, and that's it.
Yeah.
It carries on,
Mm.
and it can go to shit. It's not just like there we go, done.
Yeah, and that's always been the thing. That when you are at the top, staying at the top's hard.
Yeah.
Especially
Look at Liverpool.
Man United.
The one that gets me with that, and what points you made there were excellent. The one that gets me a little bit with that is Newcastle. Now, in general, I can't really stand Newcastle, but they don't often bang on about when was it 61 when they last won a trophy or something like that, wasn't it?
Mm.
Yeah, it was only the Intercity Bears Cup as well.
Who's the legend that they always used to bang on about when Shearer finally broke the record?
Oh,
Jackie Milburn or something like that.
Yeah, that could be it.
It's something like
You
that.
may as well
anyway.
have said Jimmy Nail for all I've heard.
I know, yeah. Could have said anything, couldn't I? But when obviously Dave banged on, and I like going to Newcastle, by the way. I think it's great if you want to go for the decent night out and all that, because it's obviously a one-team city. But when you speak to their fans, I think before they were taking over, before the Ashley stuff, when they were actually the Bobby Robson years, that they looked like they were going to be really good. There was something that was fine to like about them then. But when this happened with Ashley, which initially when he first come in, they thought they were going to buy the league then, didn't they? And then that turned to shit. Very similar to us in many ways. But then you look at now, I mean, when they were, I mean, it was quite sickening really when I went down there last time we played away there. The entitlement was just ridiculous. How much they thought it was. Oh, you know, we're like Chelsea now, and we're like Manchester City now. Money's no object. We're going to buy all these different players, and I like exactly the same as Matt said. That sort of feeling of entitlement that people get because of certain points of history about their club is it's boring. It bores me a lot, to be fair. You know, Les. I think that if you know your history and the songs we have and all that, and Everton's history, and look, we know there's nostalgia at the club. We know the history and all that stuff. And I'm not going to go on here and start saying, look, I'm not asked about Goodison. We're getting rid of that and going to the new stadium. But surely there's a stage where people must think, I wasn't part of all that. Like we said there, when I was calling you an old bastard for the laugh, Les, you've seen us win the league. I haven't. But the fact that we'd won it doesn't make me feel that much better about singing, oh, do you remember how good Everton were in the 80s? Must have been amazing those days.
It's the same for me because I was only a kid. I was 10 in 1987 last time we won the league. So it's like it's not a huge memory for me. But I did actually say put Grand Old Team in Blue Room 101 and you wouldn't let me. Remember?
Well, that's right, yeah. Grand Old Team. Wow. I mean, did you feel, and I'm opening the panel here, do you not feel as a Blue that we're like, we are stuck in the past? And I don't mean that in the literal sense. I mean, like, can you go the match without feeling, oh, this is a bit old, this, you know what I mean? This is really like, it doesn't make me feel any better that Everton used to be really, really successful. I might get thrown away here, by the way, but just to open what you guys think.
Well, no, we've got the heritage, which we should be proud of.
Yeah.
Like all of the fairs and stuff like that. But in terms of like actual historical success as a football club on the honours list, we're not as massive as a lot of our fans like to pretend we are. Yeah, we got 9 league titles, but let's be honest, like 2 of them came in the 80s, one in 1970,